last few days. So it's about 2 a.m. right now. Everyone is sleeping. The last few days I've been up until like 4 in the morning, just laying in bed trying to sleep. It's October, so for most people, October may just be Halloween month or regular month, but for me it's a more difficult time. I like to call it my season, one of my seasons that I go through. Um, so for those of you who don't know, October is Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month. And as some of you guys know, in 2013, our first baby was stillborn. So October is always a reminder of her and a way for me to remember her, and it brings back memories that come flooding from time to time. So even though this happened in 2013, there's still a lot of people who don't know what happened. The most people know, if they even know, is that I lost a baby. My baby was stillborn. The cord was around her neck. I didn't really go into detail about anything, partly because it was too difficult to talk about. It's gotten easier with time to discuss, but doesn't mean it's 100% gone. So, here are my confessions. Whatever it is, I want to tell you her story. Now, disclaimer, there's no right way to grieve. There's no linear path, and everyone may have different experiences. So this is my story and the story of my daughter, Anastasia. So here's a little background info. I am type 2 diabetic, which, for those of you who don't know, means you have a high-risk pregnancy. That meant basically going to the doctor or different types of doctors every week. By the time 32 weeks hit, I was doing non-stress tests twice a week and ultrasound every 2 weeks, an OB appointment once a week, and I was also going to a endocrinologist once a month. The day that I found out that she was stillborn was a Monday. So keep in mind, I had an ultrasound 3 days prior. I passed the non-stress test, and I was going in for my last doctor appointment before my C-section the following Thursday. Oh, one more thing. I had such a rough pregnancy that by the time I was 32 weeks, the doctor put me out of work and I was on bed rest. So let's just put that all together. Anyway, so it's Monday morning. I wake up. It's basically a normal day. Have something to eat, get dressed, get showered, and go to the doctor appointment. Now, it was my last appointment. We needed to square away anything before our C-section in a few days. We were basically at the point we were just counting down the days until she came out. And mind you, I was already miserable because I was having such a rough pregnancy, and I had been on bed rest for the last 6 weeks. So I'm 38 weeks. So anyway, we get to the doctor and we go into the back room. I'm sorry, I can see that day so clearly that it's not even funny. Like, I will never forget that day. That will always be burned into my head. So it's just kind of bringing back some emotions thinking about it and talking about it. But anyway, we went into the back room and that's where the non-stress test machine is, and did the thing, put the band on. The nurse comes in and attaches the fetal heart monitor to you, and she finds a spot where you can, where the baby's heartbeat is, so that, they can track it or whatever it is it does, right? But this time was different. I mean, instead of hearing her heartbeat fill the room, we were met with silence. And at that point, I knew something was wrong. And I could feel myself panicking. I'm trying to make eye contact with Rich as the nurse is just reassuring me that, oh, sometimes the baby flips over, so we'll have you go into the ultrasound room and we'll take a look at the ultrasound. And she walks away, and we're probably left there for about 5-10 minutes before they can bring us into the ultrasound room. And that, and I've got to say, that was probably the longest 5 to 10 minutes of my life, just sitting there waiting. And Rich has never been to these non-stress tests, so he's just saying, oh, maybe it'll be fine. Let's see what happens in the ultrasound. And I'm just sitting there like thinking, oh my God, something's wrong, something's not right. And I can feel the fear coming in, the thoughts of, oh my God, what if she's not okay? This is my baby girl that I've been carrying for the last 38 weeks. And just all these thoughts are going through my head. I'm just trying to keep calm. And finally, they bring us into the room. The doctor does the ultrasound, and it's a few minutes. He's just looking around, and I'm just sitting there waiting to hear him say something to me. And even though I had suspected that something was wrong, there was nothing in the world that could prepare me for what he said next. And thinking about it in that moment, I didn't quite process what he said to me. And I'll never forget it. He just looked me in the eye and he said, I'm so sorry, there's no heartbeat. And I just kind of stared at him, like not processing what he said to me. And it wasn't until he pulled me in for a hug that I realized what was happening, or what had happened, that my baby girl died. And you know what? It's like the floodgates opened at that point. And I just started bawling my eyes out. And I don't even know when he left the room. But next thing I know, Rich was hugging me and he was holding me as I'm just crying out no, over and over and over again. Just crying out no, this can't be true. And I can still hear myself when I think about that moment. I can still hear the no. I can still hear the pain. I can still hear the anguish in my voice as I realize my baby girl is gone.